happening, guys? It is me, Bill, and today we have a kind of special video with Halloween right around the corner. You know, as they say, spooky season is coming up. I figured, why not give a list of the 10 best horror movies according to me. Best I use loosely. This is a very subjective list. It's more of 10 of my favorite horror movies.
You lie!
This is a question people have asked me time and time again. Bill, recommend me some horror movies. Bill, what are your favorite horror movies? And let me tell you, it is so difficult to come up with this list.
That's impossible!
Which is why I also have this list of honorable mentions that I'm going to play for you right now, which could at any time be interchangeable with any of the 10 I'm going to show you shortly.
Here we go.
My number 10 is Martyrs from 2008. Not that crappy American remake, the original French film. Now, I'm sure this on my list bothers some people, as it bothers almost everyone I tend to show this film. It is not an easy watch. It is gross. It is disgusting. But when I first saw this movie, it messed me up, and it messed my roommates up as well. You've got a crazy, paranoid, delusional woman getting sliced and diced by a woman who's covered in scratches and scars. You've got a woman being beaten to near death. You've got a whole family getting blasted by a shotgun. You've got people being skinned. You've got people seeing the afterlife. And then, it is just insane, hard to watch, brutally violent. And if you want to mess somebody up, show them Martyrs. Love this movie.
Jeez.
Number 9, Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. Now, I love a lot of Lucio Fulci's movies, but The Beyond is one that is so aesthetically beautiful to me. The New Orleans, Louisiana backdrop of this movie is just so nice to see. There's such great shots, like the woman and the dog on the bridge when the car is driving up to them. Oh my god, it's so aesthetically pleasing. You got zombies, you've got guys' heads being pushed into, I guess, clothes hooks it would be. You've got a girl's face getting melted with acid. You've got people getting their lips eaten off by spiders. This movie fucks on so many levels. And next to Zombie, this to me is Lucio Fulci's best, and I highly recommend you checking it out. Now, it wouldn't be Bill's list, this is number 8, without at least one Friday the 13th making it on here. I love this franchise, and my choice is Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. My favorite of the franchise. Jason is at his best here. It's everything you expect from a Jason movie. He's got the hockey mask. He is hunting people at the camp. He is slaughtering people in really cool ways, by the way. He's almost like Frankenstein in this. He's brought back to life by lightning. You got Tom Matthews in this, who is an icon in the horror genre. It is just so fun. When he kills Court and he flips the RV and he's standing on a flaming RV. Love this movie. If you check out any Friday the 13th movie and you want, like, the Jason you expect, this is the one I want you to see.
Wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
Now, this one might ruffle a few feathers, but this is my list, so fuck you, I could do what I want.
Whatever, I do what I want.
At number 7, Halloween 1 and 2 as one singular movie. Watch these motherfuckers back to back. It is the best. What can be said about the original Halloween that hasn't been said? It's John Carpenter's claim to fame. It is a classic. Michael is scary. He's an escaped mental patient hunting down babysitters. And then in part 2, you find out Laurie is Michael's sister and he's stalking her in the hospital. It is so creepy. It is beautiful. And John Carpenter's score is fucking iconic.
You don't know what death is.
And Donald Pleasance, what a fucking legend. I highly recommend you watch these back to back as one singular movie. You will not be disappointed. It is my favorite thing to do around Halloween time. Legendary movie. I'm not going to go into too much detail because who hasn't seen Halloween? It's a fucking classic. Watch them back to back. Number 6, Fright Night. Now, if you watched our visit to NJ HorrorCon vlog, you saw we met almost the entire cast of this movie. I have loved this movie since I was a kid. The cast in this film is incredible. Chris Sarandon as the fucking head vampire with his little helper. He's eating apples. He's killing all the neighborhood hot women. And then Charlie Brewster's just trying to have sex, but he sees the vampire next door.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster.
God, they work so well together in this movie, and I think that's why I like it so much, is the acting is just incredible, and you could tell they were having a lot of fun while they were doing it. Tom Holland really knocked it out of the park with this one. It's just so good, and the great creature effects. You have Billy, the helper vampire guy, melting on the stairs. You've got Jerry Dandridge turning into a giant fucking bat at the end, and it's all practical effects. God, you could watch this with your kids, I think, and have a great time. It is just so much fun. It is incredible. If you haven't seen Fright Night, what are you doing? To me, it is the best vampire film of all time. At number 5, this movie also needs no introduction. John Carpenter for the second time on my list, The Thing. This could be the greatest horror movie of all time, in my opinion. The cast with Kurt Russell and Keith David, and the plot of an alien that you don't see just assimilating to create human beings, so nobody trusts anybody, and you don't know if the guy next to you is already a fucking alien. And how can you forget the practical effects? This may be the greatest practical effects driven movie of all time. It is just incredible to see, like Norris's head pouring over the edge of the fucking table with all the green slime, and then the fucking guy's arms getting ripped off by a mouth in the thing's stomach. I watch this movie at least 20 times a year. I go out of my way to watch this, especially when it's snowy. And the score by Ennio Morricone, just arguably the best horror film of all time. And if you haven't seen The Thing, hurry up. This is just a fucking masterpiece. John Carpenter's best, in my opinion.
Okay.
At number 4, 1985, George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. Now, a lot of people might consider Night of the Living Dead the best, Dawn of the Dead the best, but to me, Day of the Dead is the masterpiece. It's the one I watch the most often. Tom Savini really came into his own in this with the gore effects, practical effects, and the cast is just funny. They blend humor. It's just like a group of people being trapped in an underground lair after zombies have taken over the world for I guess like a decade. It's the blending of great practical effects with just a great cast, great score by John Harrison. I listen to the score. I have a vinyl record of it all the time because it's just so nice to listen to. It's almost got like a southern Jamaican twang to it. Bub. Fucking Bub. What an iconic zombie, man. I can't say enough good things about Day of the Dead, and when Rhodes is screaming, "Choke on him," at the end, getting his fucking entire guts ripped apart. George Romero's best, in my opinion. Who knows what it would have been if they gave him the proper budget and we got that huge showcase he planned to do, but I still think he knocked this guy out of the park. Watch Day of the Dead. At number 3, The Gate. Now, this one's probably not going to be on a lot of people's best of or favorite lists, but I watched this when I was a kid, and this movie is centered around 2 kids. There's a hole in their backyard, and their dog dies, and they accidentally buries the dog in the fucking hole, and it creates a warp to the demon's land, and you have great practical little rubber demons running around. You got a little Steven Dorff in here. Even when I was a kid, I was digging holes in my backyard, just like, I'm gonna summon demons, obviously just joking around, but this is a great gateway horror movie, especially for younger kids. I'd say show them this and like Monster Squad. Kind of kid-friendly, it's not overly gory, but the effects are awesome, and it's just so fun to see, like, the parents, the fake parents, like, "You've been bad," and all, like, the fucking yellow goo comes pouring out of their face. This, to me, has been a favorite since childhood, so it's a nostalgic favorite for me, and it always will be. You gotta see The Gate. Part 2 is even pretty good, too, I must say. I love Part 2. Kind of a guilty pleasure.
Demons, man. Who needs chicks when you got demons?
At number 2, Joe Zito's The Prowler. Not one people talk about that much. I think people don't really like it. They find it kind of boring. But this, to me, since I was younger, has been one of my favorite slasher movies of all time, if not my favorite. It takes place in Cape May, New Jersey. Tom Savini, again, at his absolute best with the practical effects. You got people getting stabbed with pitchforks. You got, like, the guy getting the knife shoved into his head and his eyes turning white as it comes out his chin. You got the naked lady getting stabbed with the pitchfork in the shower, and him leaving, like, the roses on the dead bodies. And I just love the plot. It's so simple. It's just like, you know, a guy mad that his girlfriend was leaving him while he was at war, and he comes back and just slaughters all these teens at a dance. It's fucking great, simple, bloody, great fucking time. My buddy Joe, who you might know from Movie Dumpster, does a great cosplay of The Prowler. If you're a fan of slasher movies and haven't seen The Prowler, get on this right away. It is fucking dynamite. And number 1, this should come as no surprise if you've watched this channel or you're friends with me, Don Coscarelli's Phantasm. This, to me, is just, it might be my favorite movie of all time. It is so quirky and weird and bizarre. You've got, like, this giant tall man who you're not sure if he's a fucking alien, taking dead bodies and sending them through a portal to turn them into little midgets who have yellow blood. And he throws this spear thing around, and it sucks your fucking brains out. And the whole movie just feels like a dream. It's really bizarre. And this is another one for me that's a nostalgic one for me. My dad rented this for me when I was fucking so young. So it's stuck with me this whole time. So it's definitely, obviously, a nostalgic pick for me. I can watch this at any time. Listen to the fucking score, man. It is... I listen to it walking to work sometimes. It just captivates me. It's just one of those movies you have to see once. I know a lot of people like the sequel better because it's more of like a road film. A lot more is happening. But to me, it's always the original, man. One of the greatest movies of all time as far as I'm concerned. I think I might be on an island there, but you have to see Phantasm. Alright guys, that was 10 of my favorite horror movies of all time, or best horror movies of all time, and a shit ton of my honorable mentions. This is a list that is constantly changing. It's such a hard question to ask when people are like, well, what are your favorites? It's like, dude, I love so many horror movies. If I ever recommend any to anyone, it's definitely the 10 here or any of the ones on my honorable mentions list. What are some of your favorite movies? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. Shit, am I an idiot for putting some of these on the list? Subscribe to our channel. We're doing fun stuff all the time. Hopefully I can get Vicky to do this soon because hers is going to be drastically different from mine. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching any of our content. I hate using that word content. Watching any of our fucking videos, any of the shit we do. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Adios.